Hey guys, it's Chantel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're having rice with a cut up vegan patty with sweet and sour sauce on it and some broccoli. And then we have some potato wedges here with some ranch behind it. I don't know, that's what I just was craving. And then we have some H2O. Oddly enough, I wasn't craving a soda, but I probably will later on. So here we go. Hey you guys, today we're going to talk about the 1988 movie with Cher, Dennis Quaid and Liam Neeson. It is called Suspect. So I was on Tubi the other day and actually no, let me get at them now. Sorry. Okay, I was on Tubi the other day and I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this movie. So Cher is a public defender who's like overworked, needs a vacation, and is ready to do just that. Randy Quaid, I hope I didn't say Dennis. Please forgive me if I keep saying Dennis. Randy Quaid is a lobbyist who gets picked to sit on a jury. Liam Neeson is the homeless man accused of murder, which is why Randy has to be on the jury. Cher was appointed to Liam Neeson as, like I said, a public defender. She didn't want to, but of course she had to. So in the beginning, you see a judge in his office. It's like Christmas time. He's playing around with a gun and just like practicing. And a clerk comes in, or I have it backwards, but a clerk comes in and gives her a bonus. He tells her Merry Christmas. They go on, and then as he like practicing with his rifle, his secretary comes in and they talk for a minute, and he's like blah blah blah. The next thing you know, he like writes a letter, and he himself. So they find, so these guys are playing basketball or something. So anyways, her body is found in the pond or whatever. And they accuse Liam Neeson because they saw him sleeping in her car. And the movie sets, it's set in Washington, D.C. So, you know, you work at the courthouse, but you have to like park in a different area, like a parking lot. So it's kind of far. So they arrest him. So, like I said, Cher becomes his attorney. And he won't say anything. He's being like violent. He's been like punches Cher. And then she realizes he's deaf. So she starts writing in a notebook. He was a vet and he got sick, and that's why he lost his hearing. He can't sign. And he's homeless. So she starts asking questions. You know, trying to figure out like what happened. And right now, they're picking the jury. And nobody wants jury duty, obviously. But Randy Quaid gets picked, right? So he actually figures out that, well, he didn't figure it out, but the girl that was murdered was, I know I said that before, but she actually was this. The other guy used a GUN. So I know before I said when the guy had a gun, he went like this. He was like this, but actually he shot himself. And the clerk was actually, that's what someone did to her throat. So Randy, you know, the jury's going to, so like one day after the court, Randy calls, disguising his voice, and Cher answers, and he's like basically asking, is he left-handed or right-handed, because a right-handed person did this. So the next day in court, after she's done asking questions, she calls out to Liam Neeson, his name is Carl, and she throws like this little bag at him, and he catches with his left hand. And of course, the judge is pissed. He's like, don't ever do that or whatever. But it just proved that he's left-handed, right? So after that, as they're leaving court, you know, they walk across, like I told you, they walk across the street to the park, to their parked cars. Cher goes, don't you ever do that to me again. Like, I could be disbarred. I could report you. And so they chat for a little bit and then they leave. Well, it so happens the judge sees this and he's kind of like doing double check, like, were they talking? Like, he didn't really see it, but he, you know what I mean? He can't prove it, but he just was like, hey, like, what's going on? So, again, he calls her, Randy Quaid calls her. He's like, meet me here. So they meet. Again, she meets him. And then a crazy guy that's also homeless comes behind her and holds a knife to her throat. Now, this crazy person was, like I said, was another homeless person. And Liam Neeson said that he was also there the night the girl was killed. So Randy comes back. He hears her. He comes back and he slashes him in the stomach, right? So as time goes on, now Randy and Cher are like kind of working together, which is so illegal. And so one day they're at the library and guess who's there? Flipping judge. So what he does is like, he'll go pull a book and he'll leave it on the desk so she could like read it. Obviously no one can know they, you know, are talking. So Cher sees the judge and so she starts like, so she writes a note like of the judge's name and she starts like tapping her pen. And of course he happens to see when he walked by. So he walks by and sits down somewhere else. So the judge is looking again. I mean, he's looking hard, you guys. He's just like, just looking, right? And so I think by now he confronts her. Because like I said, Randy, it's like more stuff that they're finding out about each other or whatever. Or I'm sorry, there's more stuff he's helping her with throughout the movie. But this time that the judge is like, hey, you know, it looks like you're, you know, talking to him, whatever. So, Randy is curious, of course. So he goes back to the homeless camp. And he asks the guy, hey, do you know who this guy is? So they point him to the guy. He turns him over. Crazy homeless guy is dead too. So you're like, oh my God. This is just like getting crazy. Like everyone's like just dying. So the guy had, look at this bad boy. So the crazy homeless guy, I say crazy because he really was like, he was like loopy. He had a key. And the key was actually from the victim. Because she was a clerk. And that key opened a file cabinet. So they so after Randy takes the key, next day in court, he so like conveniently shows Cher, like he like holds up the key, but like kind of discreetly showing her that he has the key. So then again, as they're leaving court, Randy passes her going on the escalator and he starts like tapping his other glove. So she goes back to the courtroom and she sees that there's a glove there. So he left the key in there. So they meet up that night and they're trying to open the, you know, file cabinet. So they go through, they find the cabinet, they open it up. And what do you know? The case is missing. So she does research on the case. The case is from 20 years before, 1968. And basically what happened was a judge, which is the judge who killed himself, took a bribe from another attorney so he can be appointed judge. Because I guess he kept waiting and waiting, never got promoted. And so 17 years went by and he was tired of it. So he asked the judge to appoint him and the judge agreed and took a bribe. Hello. Well, the reason why the girl was killed was because she found out about it and she was going to go public with it. So That's why she was killed. So, and that's why the judge killed himself, because he like confessed to it on a tape. So, Cher's like discussing this with another public defender, and she's just like baffled, like, why the heck, what is going on? Like, why was this case like hidden? Like, why do we know about it? I'm gonna go back to the courthouse because I'm just gonna go back and whatever. She goes back to the courthouse and she hears someone coming up. So she like leaves, and the person keeps following her. She runs, she's screaming, like it's a whole big old thing. Well, she happened to take the knife from the crazy homeless man because they had to put in evidence. So she took it from the back. She's happened to take it with her. And so the guy is choking her from the back, and she like, slices his hand right here. And then he runs away, and then Randy Quaid runs, and he gets a guard, and they come save her. So the next day in court, obviously I'm just telling you the main parts. But anyways, the next day in court, she figures out who did it. Let me tell you, you guys, write in the comments if you think you know who did it. Okay. The person who did it was the flipping judge. I could not believe it. So after she figures out it's the judge, she calls him to the stand. He's like, I'm gonna be called to the stand. So she starts going off and telling like the story of what happened with the fight, with the bribery and all that. And as she's doing like order in the court, his hand starts bleeding from when she stabbed him. I'm sorry, you guys, that is a good movie. That is a really good movie. So then at the end, Randy Quaid goes to her office, and she's like, I've been in court an hour. And then he's like, oh, what we can do? And he closed the door. Well, they were romantically involved, which I don't even know how she got away with that. I hope you liked that little story. Hopefully I explained it enough. It's just that, stories can go forever, and I just can't be making 45-minute videos. That's just too long to me. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys leave some comments down below. Leave an emoji, just so I know you're there. I know some people don't like to comment. Myself, I do as well. Some videos I watch, I don't comment. But if you just want to leave an emoji or give this video a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.